I hate when people are constantly doing this thing, like at this point where it's just like, oh, that person's a socialist. Oh, that person's a communist. Oh, don't worry, they're good because they're. I was like, I don't give a about those anymore, because at the end of the day, it's like, what do these people do, both IRL and then what do they advocate for on their show? That's more important to me. Like, I'd way rather know what's the consistent message and what are they fighting for, kind of thing. You know?
What I think is so annoying about like their role in this thing is like, oh my God, like you have such a bare minimum thing you have to do. Like, let's be honest, like you are not, no one is asking you to go out in the streets and become an organizer. Nobody is asking them to become scholars. Nobody's asking them to write anything. Nobody's asking them to become, no one's asking anything of them other than you chose to have this kind of platform. Literally, it doesn't take any, there's nothing that compels you to be transphobic or to be on the right, to have these bigoted conversations and fly out the window like that.
Yeah, you know, it's tragic. We all know the reality of the situation, right? If I was to do a segment right now on climate change, I was like, hey, everybody, did you hear about today? It's the hottest day ever in our history. Hot, real hot. Yeah, we're passing that 1.5. You know that 1.5, we weren't supposed to do that. We were like, oh, that's the threshold. We can never shall we pass 1.5. That'll have a catastrophic series of events, dominoes, if you will, just one thing after the other, and then it'll just spiral. Really bad for all of us. Don't let that happen. But we're like, we'll let that happen. And then you know, now there's kind of mass extinction events happening as the water warms, it holds less oxygen. Now there's just literally hundreds of thousands of dead fucking animals popping up all over the place, biblical style. It's gruesome. It's like, it's not easy to talk about because it's not something where we could just point towards, hey, if we all stopped using this one chemical in this one product, we could solve this problem. It's multifaceted and interwoven and directly tied to climate change, capitalism, and it's also going to have all these other issues where it's also going to overlap with different forms of imperialism, colonialism, oppression, racism, poverty. International coordination is necessary for how we both extract, utilize, and then get rid of CO2. Broadly speaking, it is something that requires the cooperation of all humanity globally. That's why it's hard. It's hard to both talk about, and then it's sad because the reality of what happens is really sad. It's really depressing. So I can't do segments on climate change, but I can talk about what the hell, TYT. Because, you know, if I talk about this, yeah, my numbers go up. My view count goes up. My subscribers, my likes, my followers. It's the only reason I do it. But for the online clout. Are we not all clout sharks? Nom 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 nom. Oh, delicious clout. Juicy clout to satisfy us. Come, drink our clout fill.
Selfish leftist activist, and I'd like to my clout.
Republican candidate Ron DeSantis is absolutely tanking while focusing his campaign on the woke. So in this video, I'm going to get to exposing how much of a failure that strategy is, while also getting to a clip from the Young Turks, which I believe this clip is from last week. And I think it's worth addressing here because there are also some people who maybe more on the left or more progressive, more liberals that are sort of falling into this narrative. And I think it's worth addressing this with some actual facts. So I want to start here with just showing you, this is another reason. I can't play this video because this video from DeSantis, because they're,
well, this is a large question that doesn't warrant an easy, quick answer. And it's not directly related to the drama, but it's more important. And you know what I've said about important topics? Well, I mean, they don't get the clout. And we're all about the clout. Told you about the clout. Got sound effects for it. That's not the right one. Yeah, there we go. More clout. Oh, delicious. Oh, delicious clout.
I could say anti-Semitic.
No, bad. Yay. No, you can't. No, wrong. All right. Well, either way, I think it's kind of one of those things where there's going to be a feedback loop in both directions. Obviously, we are a hyper consumerist culture now, and that has a lot to do with what is being reinforced both through our advertising strategies and campaigns by major corporations, as well as what is generally accepted within society, and then what is used to compare and contrast one's own accomplishments via another human beings within the societal structure. So if you look to your neighbors and you're like, well, my neighbors have a nice house, nice car, fuck, I want that too. I want to compare. Well, then you are also going to have to accelerate your consumerism and your capitalist accomplishments to be able to achieve that. So the whole thing is kind of a feedback loop in both directions. And it's hard sometimes because, you know, who amongst us does not, well, among us, but who amongst us does not love to have nice, shiny things? I was extremely excited to get a PS5. And I do know that by owning a PS5, I've along the way really fucked some other human beings over. Just like if you own a PS5, doesn't matter where you are in the world, you fuck some people over to be able to own that PS5, and you have to accept it. Now, obviously, I don't think I can change the entirety of global economics myself. I can't change how products are made in China and then, you know, obviously manufactured in worse conditions. And then as it's shipped over here, there's a huge amount of cost. The minerals are most likely extracted in countries in South and Central America and countries in Africa that are mostly going to benefit massive corporations and entities that then sell them to chip manufacturers in Taiwan and other countries. Like the whole process is brutal. So here's the thing. I know it's bad, and I'm a bad boy for having my PS5. But, and this is a big old but at the end of it, that doesn't mean that I can't advocate for wanting to both have a PS5, because the PS5 is fun, it's pretty poggies, and also not have to do all the exploitation along the way. You know, it might mean we don't get brand new units every couple years that are all shiny. We might have to replace parts in the same units, but then you'd have much faster machines if we did, you know, just replacing out the RAM or the hard drive or the motherboard or the graphics card. If you did that on a regular basis rather than having to buy a new PS5 or a new phone all the time, then you would actually have the best possible hardware, and it would also be way more cost effective, require way less exploitation, way less resource extraction, way less human suffering, way less racism, less imperialism. It'd be better across the board, right? So you can have both. You can have your PS5, enjoy it, but also fight for, advocate for, and hopefully vote and do activism for not doing the system that we have along the way. Yeah.
There is music on it that's copyrighted, but they put out a couple of ridiculous videos, very focused on basically bragging about how anti-LGBTQ plus they are. So this is one of those videos, and you see my friend here, Mike Figueredo of the Humanist
Hi,
Report.
Mike.
He's actually in this DeSantis attack ad. That's actually an attack ad on Trump, while also trying to boast how, you know, hateful DeSantis is.
And
but
right to repair,
I'll link to
yeah.
that below in case you want to watch that. It's a wild ad, so check it out
Brain
at the
don't
end of this
work.
video if you want. But
That'll be my next computer.
there's also
I want to live by my beliefs. I got to start streaming and working off modular computers. I mean, in theory, that's what it is. Like PCs are kind of modular in that, like, I replace parts rather than the whole PC, right? Like if my hard drive stopped working, I'd replace the hard drive. I wouldn't be like, I need an entirely new PC. That would be ridiculous. But when I used to work with Macs, it was the opposite of that. Macs, and it's so funny, I used to be like, I'm a Mac person, fuck PC people. You know, those old weird ass ads where you were always comparing yourself based on, like, I had corporate loyalty. I had weird fucked up corporate loyalty to Macs. I got nothing in return. I gave them so much of my money, and yet I still fucking was a loyal brand ambassador to that company. It's so weird, really bizarre when you finally get out of that fucking world. But anyways, every Mac you bought, it's same thing with phones. Yeah, you'd have to buy an entirely new model of everything. It's like this: you need a new monitor, you need a new fucking hard drive, you need a new fucking processor, graphics card, all in one, end-to-end, perfect fucking consumer product. And it's like, will I need a new one? No, not now. 3 years, but like in 3 years, you'll economically, this one will make you enough money that you can afford another one in a couple of years, right? Just keep buying new fucking all-in-one computers.
This is from June 30th here, just a quick clip showing how ridiculous DeSantis is. He says woke
My daughter
here
built mine. Okay, that's it. I have to.
six times
I must create child.
in 19 seconds.
Raise an
Florida,
offspring
we
that can
fought the
repair the
woke all
computers.
across the board. And as president, I will fight the woke in the corporations. I will fight the woke in the schools. I will fight the woke in the halls of Congress. We will never, ever surrender to the woke mob. We are going to leave woke ideology in the dustbin of history.
All right, so there he is discussing how they will never surrender to the woke mob. This is literally, like, this has become a joke on the left.
Whoa, this is a good juxtaposition, Winston. Tony Evers uses veto powers to extend annual increases for public schools for the next 4 centuries. Fucking Basado. Beast. Governor Tony Evers vetoed the words and numbers in red, creating a 325 per student increase in school funding each year until 2,425. What? Holy shit. Holy shit. That's so epic. Here.
Mission complete.
Hell yeah. Good luck. Good luck, future. If you're even still called humans, maybe by that point you'll have evolved and you're probably a hybrid with AI and some other shit. So you're just like super advanced. Whatever is considered the thing in the future, whatever y'all are, I hope you enjoy this nonstop increase in public school funding. Legislative Republicans worked tirelessly over the last few months to block Governor Evers' liberal tax and spending agenda. Unfortunately, because of his powerful veto authority, he resisted some of it today, Assembly Speaker Robin said. So this is a bit of a juxtaposition because yes, I am not a fan of Democrats. I'm not even an American, but I'm not someone who would be like, you have to vote Democrat. You have to do it to save it. I would tell you, you should vote for them over Republicans, not because they're great, but they also, neoliberals fuck you over ultimately as well, right? But this is one of those cases where, hey, in one position, someone is doing something that will have tangible, real world material effects on both the welfare of children and fucking just education and public access to school in general. And on the other end, you get, I will destroy the woke. I'm gonna fuck the woke up. What we gonna do about that woke?
Now, discussing how we are the woke mob. Like, it's so ridiculous. And I'm going to showcase how much of a failure this is for him. So on May 17th,
Linus is too famous for me, Roller.
He this is right before he announced his run for the primary or in the primary. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis signs anti-LGBTQ laws affecting gender-affirming care, bathroom use, and drag shows. More specifics here. DeSantis has made anti-LGBTQ legislation a large part of his agenda, and he's expected to announce his presidential candidacy in the coming days. So, again, we're talking May 17th is when he made this announcement.
Yeah, it's just not production.
Let's look at the polling since then, all right? So DeSantis here, he's the green line.
This is crucial.
Trump is the purple.
By the way, I know everyone's like, I thought we were going to talk about TYT. Lance, you said you'd make drama. Don't worry, the drama is coming. But this is actually really important. David chose a different angle, an important one, once again. And by the way, climate change is real. Alert everybody to this. Spread the word. Let's start taking measures to reduce the amount of subsidies oil companies get to zero. No more subsidies for oil corporations. They are making untold amounts of profit right now. They can reinvest that profit in the human race and should be we should force them to, honestly, because they won't do it on their own. They've already shown that. So let's work towards doing that thing. And now back to drama. What did TYT, what did Cenk and Anna specifically start talking about when it came to the trans issues? They said that a lot of the things that people are advocating for are not winning issues when it comes to trans advocacy, such as talking about sports. They're very concerned about sports. They said no one wants, trans women to compete against cis women, biological females in sports. They never said that, but like this is the same argument you get from a lot of people who are trying to obviously cause a wedge. You got to find entry points, right? No one, if you are like, there's people who are obviously 100% transphobic in that they do not want trans people to exist, and they are working on an extermination/elimination project. They are vocal about it. These are the fascists, the Christian nationalists, all that kind of stuff. Yes, this is not that, okay? There are people who are centrist or well-to-do liberals, for example, who will say and come out of a position for, hey, I'm for trans rights to a point. This is a ... And my trans rights allowance that I, as a cis person, will allow trans people to have is adults. Adults can make adult decisions for themselves, like any other adult. In the interim, I now want to involve myself in the healthcare of a stranger's child and say that the things that they are doing to themselves is child abuse and can potentially castrate them for the rest of their lives. Lo and behold, the dangers of the trans agenda. It's like, okay, well, you now sound kind of identical to the other side right now that's been calling for all the horrifying. Like, I know you're not as bad as them. Obviously, yes, there is a scale of transphobia, right? From horrifying genocidal projects all the way to, people who think trans rights should stop and end once you turn 18. Prior to that, you shouldn't have trans rights, which is kind of fucked. Yeah, and it does serve and benefit the right. It doesn't serve the other side. It doesn't serve people who actually want complete, liberation for all people. They obviously would have to see both as the enemy in this project. But it's a lie. It's a massive lie. This is a huge lie. This is classic David Dole. Let's come at this from the angle of, is this truly moving the pulse for Republicans? Is this a winning issue politically for Republicans? Are Republicans seeing a surge in their ability to destroy electoral fucking districts if they go full transphobic? If they make anti-wokeness a core tenet of who they are? Does that appeal to the broad electorate? And spoiler warning, of course fucking not. No, this has been a fucking a horrifying play. It's been so bad that after the midterms, which were supposed to be a red wave, which turned out to be more of a red fucking spittle, a lot of Republicans had to fucking reassess and be like, you know what? Maybe our fixation and our hyperfixation on culture wars, specifically related to trans people, is not really moving the fucking pulse when it comes to the general electorate. People in the general broad sense are not concerned 24/7 the way fucking cis het dudes are with trans women and their genitals. That seems to be an exclusively far right wing fucking cis het weird fixation that like they can't stop thinking about it, talking about it all the time. But other people are like, well, I care more about inflation. Yeah, that's I mean, inflation to me is a little bit more important than what a stranger's genitals or what they do with their genitals is. In fact, I don't even really care about that, if at all. I wouldn't even put that on the board. You know, if you're like, show me blah blah blah, Family Feud style, it wouldn't be on the fucking on the map. There would be no inspecting strangers' genitals and finding out what they do with them. Nah, I don't care about that. Inflation would be on the board. That, you know, show me inflation, boom, number one right there, something like that. Yeah, that's a concern for sure.
Top DeSantis on, you see the date down below. Let's go to May. Here we go. May 17th, right here. He makes his announcement. Big deal, right? So, or sorry, he makes the trans ban announcement. So you see a little bump in polling. So it boosts him a little bit, and then of course, and to be fair, to contribute all this boost to just that is ridiculous, considering he announced his run for president. So that also adds to the actual boost here. But it has not maintained. It just drops right off again. This hyper focus he has had on woke and being anti-LGBTQ and specifically anti-trans has not led to any sort of meaningful support. He has less support now than well before he announced. Back in March, he had way more support. People knew less about his agenda. They discovered what his agenda is, and he's way behind. Trump way up top, increasing his lead. So this has not benefited him in any way whatsoever. Now, let me get to a clip here, and I'm going to get some more data around this, but this is a clip from the Young Turks. This is 7 days ago. So this was actually a video that was, well, began about Trump and Trump.
He's worse than Jeb at running campaigns. I guess so far that's pretty true. We'll see. Who knows? Things could change. But it does not look good. Does not look good for Ronaldo.
Some ridiculous stuff at a rally. And then it turned into this weird critique of the left. So I want to play a clip of this. It's largely focused on trans people in sports. I want to play a clip of this, and then we're going to get to some actual data around this, because they provide no data for their claims. And again, this isn't, I'm not doing it.
I got data for you. If trans women were such a danger in sports, such a danger that they could destroy the entirety of the sanctity of the very institution of sports itself, and they've been allowed for a long time now to participate in the Olympics, how many gold medals do trans women have so far? Which would be the dominating medal, the number one medal? The answer is 0. To the person who said 1, that's for a non-binary individual on the Canadian soccer team who has the first gold medal for a non-binary person. Trans women have 0. 0 gold medals, and they've been allowed to participate in the Olympics for a long time. Now, you know, when a trans woman, and I say a trans woman specifically, wins a gold medal, oh, you're never going to hear the end of it. That's fuck. It's gonna be a massive moment. Gonna be a huge thing. The right wing and the fucking all the well-to-do trans allied libs, all the centrists who just turn out to be transphobes when the going gets tough. Let's just say that are all gonna get mad and angry. They're all gonna get so furious. We told you this would happen. And at that moment, you can just respond, well, yeah, I told you that when this would happen, all of you would care because it's when a trans woman wins. That's when it's a problem. For a long time, trans people were participating in sports. It was not this monstrous culture war issue like it is now. It was something that was being debated amongst sports societies, organizations, scientists, fucking you name it. Those were the people who were discussing this and trying to determine, hey, in the interest of fairness, is it going to be appropriate for someone who is on, let's say, hormone replacement therapy for X amount of time to be able to justifiably compete against people who were not on that kind of hormone therapy, or were just, naturally born with these certain, values of hormones and balances in their body? And this is a debate that's been going on for a long time that sometimes crosses into very racist territory when you find out there's lots of black cis women who continuously get disqualified for what reasons? Oh, you have too much testosterone. Yes, it seems like you're unnaturally producing testosterone. So it's unfair. It's an unfair advantage to the other competitors for you to compete. We've determined that this individual happens to be intersex. Yes, they're intersex, which means they technically could have some of the powers of a man. The powers of a man, truly. Unstoppable man strength.
Just to attack TYT. I'm doing this to attack this point. If anybody is falling into this trap, falling into this idea, it's important to know what the actual data around this is. Again, if you even care about the data, which you can argue, maybe we should focus on human rights as the priority and worry about changing people's minds on that front, especially if you have a platform, you have a media network, you want to inform people. But let's play their game, include the polling. First, I want to show you, though, a clip of what they said. And of course, there's more context here. Just to be clear, of course, you can watch the entire thing if you want. I'll link to it below the video. But here's a clip to give you an idea of what they were saying.
That means that you're going to continue pushing the Democratic Party to unequivocally support everything that the trans activists want, even if it's unpopular among the electorate. That means they're not getting reelected. That means they're going to lose to Republicans.
The Republicans introduced over 600 bills against the LGBTQ community. That's because of.
I spent a lot of time with trans people on TikTok live streams to make it very clear there's no middle ground. You're either 100% with us or you're not. Well, yeah, because what with us is their ability to exist within humanity. Like if someone's like, hey, by the way, I want to exist. And the opposition to that is, yes, but, or, okay, however, with conditions, then what does that say? Even if someone's like, I'm a proud ally, I will stand up for the rights of trans adults exclusively and make sure that I do everything in my power so that they never suffer. And then it's like, well, there's conditions, there are terms and conditions. See, as a cis person, I don't get terms and conditions. Like, my cisness is never brought up when I go to the doctor. It's never questioned. I don't have to go see a psychiatrist or psychologist or a counselor for being cis. Never will have to either. I'm not going to be evaluated for being cis, especially if I want some form of gender affirming care. If I want hair implants at one point, if I want a fucking ass implants, if I want a fucking, a 40 fucking foot cock or something like that, whatever gender affirming care I decide I need, that wouldn't matter. I wouldn't have to be assessed. I wouldn't go through a screening process. None of that would happen. So yeah, there's no terms and conditions for cis existence. There's no fucking barriers of entry. There's no, oh yeah, life is kind of hard for a cis dude. How so? Cis is a slur. It's kind of a mean word to call someone, right? Cis.
Elections, and over 70 of them have already passed. When you say I don't care about winning and I don't care about elections, what you're saying is I'm super selfish leftist activist and I'd like to build my cloud. But meanwhile, I'm willing to throw trans people and the entire LGBTQ community under the bus, knowing that these bills are gonna pass because we're laser focused on a losing issue.
Example, please, can you show me the show that features either a prominent trans activist, a fucking ally LGBTQ plus activist of any kind who is stating emphatically, here's the deal. We must all get everyone to agree with every single point. It is dogma. That is all. If you do not agree with these publicly and enforce them in your speech, then like it's non-issues again. If you're like, it's deeply unpopular to even advocate for trans people to be able to participate in cis people sports leagues. So because of that, it's so deeply unpopular. It's such a fucking wedge issue. We should let it go. I mean, that fucking line that is always going to be pushed up against by fascists, by the way, they're never going to be happy with a fucking decorum. There is no parlay. There's not like a halfway measure where they're going to be like, okay, all right, fine. We'll leave trans people alone at this point. If you go any further, okay, you go further than that, then we might make an issue, but you got us here, right? They always try to find wedge issues, you know? It's always like, hey, by the way, prisons. That's kind of scary, right? Oh, by the way, children, puberty blockers, permanent potential castration that comes from that. Well, yeah, if you were getting extremely high doses, but that's not actually what the purpose of it is for. And like any medication, you could actually take an Viagra to kill yourself, and or that could just be a side effect. Honestly, when it's prescribed by a doctor, it's usually given at such an amount that it's going to simply delay temporarily a lot of the unchangeable effects of puberty while you decide whether or not you want to go through with hormone replacement therapy, at which point they take you off the puberty blockers. Then you don't go on the puberty blockers anymore. You go right onto the hormone replacement therapy, which again, these are things that we did for a long time for cis kids, and we've realized they're safe and reversible. So there are cis kids who go through puberty super early, and it can have pretty negative consequences for their development. So we, at that, in extreme cases, will give them puberty blockers to again delay parts of that. It's FDA approved. FDA approved. Lupron. Approved by the FDA. For cis kids, though. Just for cis kids.
I don't understand how you can possibly attribute democratic losses to trans activists.
One of my nieces at age 9. Fuck, I'm sorry. That sounds intense.
Get to the midterms in a second here. But even putting that aside, there have been activists.
I didn't know that, Pelt. Is that a meme?
As long as there's been politics, there's always going to be activists. How there are so many points to bring up here, because first of all, the idea that trans activists are, first of all, a collective, that it all they're a hive mind, so they're all going to now change their strategy at once, and on top of that, they're going to change their strategy of simply fighting for equal rights, fighting for representation in sports.
Right.
They're going to change their entire fight because of something TYT said.
He dated Miss Jamaica once upon a time. Oh, wow.
Like,
I can see that.
You have to understand how to use your platform, what the impact of your platform is. I try to use mine to both educate people, but also entertain people. It's a combination. You can educate through entertainment. That's what I try to do. TYT here is simply using their platform to,
hell yeah,
how it comes off to me, turn their audience, which is made up of largely, I believe, people that are, progressive, Bernie supporters, people that are liberals, turn their audience on left-wing activists, on trans activists. They're using their platform to make their audience hate trans activists. Because you're not changing the activist mind. I mean, you realize that, right? They're not.
Someone said that trans activists can be used as a weapon for turf talking points. Yeah, I agree with that. I think ultimately what they are is just human rights advocates or activists. That's what it is, right? You don't have to specifically say that, hey, I am a indigenous rights activist, even though I'm labeled with that label all the time. I was like, no, I'm a humanist. I want to advocate for the rights of all people, even white people. That's right. There's a lot of poor white people suffering under capitalism.
They're not changing their strategy based on Cenk Uygur. So all you're doing with this platform is trying to throw hate at people who have no power at all.
True.
Again, looking at the polling here, which should not dictate the entirety of what we fight for. But if that's their focus. This is right before the midterms. GOP list is from Bloomberg. GOP looks to fire up base with attacks on transgender rights. This was their main focus in the midterms, attacking transgender people. How did they do? Republicans doubled down on anti-LGBTQ plus rhetoric in the midterms. It wasn't a winning platform.
By the way, if you're like, numbers, blah, you can actually hear it from the mouths of bigots. Listen to both Ben Shapiro right after the midterms, his whole rant, and it only lasts one episode, by the way, because the next episode he goes right back to getting that bag. But in that one episode, he's basically like, it's very evident that these are not driving voters to the polls the way opposition to things like, Roe v. Wade, as well as other issues has been. And like he sees it for what it is the day after, because he's like anyone else, mad that his team lost and he's all angry and stuff. And then just reverts right back, because you know who this is really profitable for? Right-wing media. For right-wing media, it is a gold mine right now. That is why every one of these weirdos, their entire fucking YouTube channels are just talking about queer stuff. It's like 75% trans stuff and then 25% gay stuff, but mostly it's just LGBTQ stuff. Like they are just absolutely obsessed with producing this content because clearly it's driving other right-wingers who like click on it. You don't need to take my word for it. Look at the Media Matters numbers. Not only like the number one talking about trans issues comes from right-wing conservative pages, but the right-wing conservative accounts are also the ones sharing and interacting with the word trans more than any other category, including trans people. Like they're absolutely fucking obsessed.
This year saw an underwhelming showing for anti-LGBTQ candidates and historic wins for LGBTQ nominees. So a little more specifics here. And yes, it also addresses the trans sports part as well. So according to exit polling from LGBTQ plus advocacy organization, the Human Rights Campaign, and data analytics firm Catalyst, voters ranked LGBTQ plus issues as low on their list of priorities for 2022. More than half, 52%, chose inflation, and 20%.
The founder of Gays Against Groomers left the organization. Do you have a link, Mark?
9% picked abortion. Transgender healthcare and participation in sports came in last on the list of issues.
Once again, for the people in the back, transgender healthcare and participation in sports came in last on the list of issues with 5%. So for Cenk and Anna now to come out publicly and say, hey, by the way, you lefties and activists and all this kind of stuff, you're wrong. This is not a winning issue. Normies don't agree with you. No one wants trans people to participate in cis people sports leagues. This is not a winning issue. This is not going to drive voters to the polls. You're right that it's not going to drive voters to the polls, but not in the way you think, and that people don't give a fuck. They're not fucking getting out of bed or missing work or fucking missing an appointment or fucking spending time out of their day to stand in line to be able to vote for someone, getting zero pay for the process or anything like that, because they're really deeply afraid of trans people. That's just not true. So in the meantime, maybe we shouldn't police the very things that trans people say are oppressing them. Because like all of these fucking wedge issues, all of these things where it's like, yeah, but do you really want like, men in women's bathrooms? Is that what you're saying? I'm saying, no, I want women to be allowed to use women's bathrooms. That's what trans women are trying to do. You're the ones trying to stop trans women from going in those bathrooms. It's really weird. Well, because I don't think they're women. Well, okay, well, that's it's a you issue. That's something you could work out on your own time. You don't have to make this about trans people. Just leave them alone to do their own things. You're oppressing them by doing this. And so go sort yourself out. I don't know what you got to do. Maybe delete that browser history, go work something out, maybe explore some feelings that you didn't know you had. Either way, stop making this into everyone else's fucking issue. Because when you do that, then it's fucking oppressive, right? It sucks.
With just 5%. So the one data set that we have where it is very clear the focus from the right was on hatred of transgender people, they lost historically. What world?
David Leatherwood. Wait, is this the same dude? Is this the one who fucking Humanist Report put on blast? Where he was like, the leopards never ate my face. I am the leopards. And Mike was like, I think that's the gayest thing I've ever seen. Is this the same dude? I think it's the same dude. All right, so this is the fucking founder of Gays Against Groomers, apparently. Today I would like to announce that I'm formally resigning from my board position with Gays Against Groomers and withdrawing my involvement from the organization. I will always support the mission of GAG and the great and impactful work they do to protect kids from indoctrination, medicalization, and sterilization. GAG is a great organization. I have nothing bad to say about the group or its leaders and wish them continued success. My decision to part ways is strictly professional and on good terms with mutual understanding. I greatly admire the organization's passion and effective in the mission for protecting kids and making a positive impact on our culture. Thank you, Gays Against Groomers. Caitlyn Jenner, not the draft you sent to my team. Some highly relevant admission info. You can't play it both ways. Yes. Oh, I love it. Oh, man.
What world do you have to live in to think that, again, if all you cared about was polling, not the actual lives of trans people, if that's all you cared about was the polling, what world are you living in where trans activists are the ones losing elections for Democrats? What world is this? Because not this world. Like, I'm providing evidence here. If there's evidence to show differently, then show me. But this was a clear narrative coming out of the midterms that they focused heavily, Republicans did, on woke and trans people, and they lost.
Yep.
Perhaps more significantly, LGBTQ plus candidates won at record-setting numbers. In 2018, the first year dubbed the Rainbow Wave, more than 400 queer candidates appeared on ballots nationwide, according to the Victory Institute, which works to elect LGBTQ plus officials. This year, 1,065 showed up on ballots across the country, and 340 secured wins. Massive wins for LGBTQ plus candidates. Like, guys, the electorate is changing. Gen Z are more engaged in politics. Many of them are voting. People and
hey, everyone who's watching right now, would you like Olaimi to come on to give us some fresh perspectives on this entire TYT and experience? She seems to be an expert in the field, I would say, who knows quite a bit about this, and can certainly deliver some of the tea. And she wanted to know whether or not y'all would be interested in her appearing for the special. Yeah, I'm getting some mixed vibes here. Hard to tell between the two chats right now. Seems kind of fence city, you know. Strange. All right, I'm gonna DM.
And even if that wasn't the case, this is clearly not an issue that motivates many Republicans when DeSantis' campaign is all about this, and he is well below Trump. A little more here from Data for Progress. New polling for Data for Progress suggests that voters are starting to see the GOP's efforts as just that. When asked about the more than 400 pieces of legislation working their way through state houses aimed at limiting the rights of transgender and gay people in America, 64% of respondents, including 55% of Republicans, sided with the statement, quote, "This is too much legislation. Politicians are playing political theater and using these bills as a wedge issue." Again, let's reiterate here, including 55% of Republicans saying that this is too much anti-trans legislation. This is too much. Compared with 25% who agree with the statement, quote, "This is the right amount of legislation." That figure rose to 78% among respondents who know a transgender person. Last paragraph here. This polling finds that voters across all political parties see the Republican attempt to flood state legislatures with anti-LGBTQ plus legislation as political theater, said Aaron Thomas, a pollster at Data for Progress. It also shows that the ideas espoused by today's loudest anti-trans activists, that trans people threaten children and that our identities are a woke invention, don't resonate with the average voter. Again, this does not resonate with the average voter. And I'm going to get to a clip at the end of this video with the DeSantis voter. And it is an amazing clip because of how quickly she changes the topic, because of how little she cares about this issue. So on what Democrats should actually do, again,
First time here.
if what we're focusing on now is electoral victories. This is what you have to think about. More than 75% of LGBTQ plus Democrats think that the party is not doing enough to protect the LGBTQ plus community. And what does that lead to? Less of them voting. Young LGBTQ plus adults are most likely to not vote in elections. Maybe if Democrats spoke more to their issues, weren't afraid of engaging on this issue, you would engage a younger voting base. Gen Z are already politically motivated, a lot more than previous generations. All you have to do is actually speak to their issues. Last thing, as I said, the clip. This is amazing. I'm just gonna play this.
I'm wondering if you think that DeSantis's, very public war on woke distracts from the message that you like about him.
A little bit, I do.
He did sign a law that restricts transgender care for adults as well as kids.
I have greater concerns about the 6-week abortion ban.
Tell me about that.
I think if he made it clear that he's a states' rights person and that he's not looking to kind of pass a national law in this regard, I would be less concerned.
This DeSantis voter is completely unfazed. She doesn't care about trans issues at all, either way. She's focused in terms of what concerns her about DeSantis. She's more focused on abortion, which makes total sense. Why would she care about trans issues unless she has a trans child? Like, this again goes to another issue I have with this hyper focus on trans youth and trans healthcare. These aren't issues that should concern anybody except for a trans person or a trans youth, their family, and their doctor. These are medical discussions.
Yes. Holy shit. Amen. Yes. That's it. Like, fucking leave them kids alone.
I don't get in the middle of your cancer treatments. Why should I get in the middle of your treatments around trans healthcare? It's nobody's concern but theirs. As long as they have access to that healthcare. That's the only concern I have, is they have access to that healthcare. As long as they have access, like, these aren't political issues that anyone should be cared about, or that anyone should be concerned about. So this hyper focus on trying to be defensive to these imaginary people, or maybe, I don't know, the 10 people that are going to vote strictly in a general election based on trans people in sports. Like, if you are so concerned about getting their vote, just go Republican. Because the idea that you have to appeal to those people instead of maybe just losing them, who cares? Let them go vote Republican. How about Democrats focus on trying to get younger people out to vote who right now feel like the Democratic Party is not speaking to them, and especially trans people, LGBTQ people, who would vote Democrat if they were actually engaged with on those issues. That is a much, much larger voting bloc that is up for grabs.
True. So obviously, excellent video by The Rational National. Give me 1 sec. I'm just going to bring on a very special guest. Hi. Can you hear the sound of my voice? Is it working now?
Yes. Oh, I'm going through it. Lance, I'm having this was such an easy day at first, and then it changed. Like,
how so? Inform me. Oh, and by the way, hi everybody. Say hi to Olaimi, your
y'all.
favorite.
Normally, I could see the chat, and I would talk back at y'all, but I was sitting here thinking, oh, I have a free day. I'm not filming until 4 o'clock. I was gonna pop in yours early. I go light a blunt. Notice how I can't show you. My blunt is full because I couldn't smoke it, because literally as I sit down, like, let me set up my little area out here so I could film. I plug in my computer charger. It don't light up. I said, I plug it in again. It don't light up. I check the that's in. I pull it out. The fucking charger not working. So I said, oh, fuck, right? 3 o'clock. I'm like, oh, fuck. I have a whole day of filming. What is this bullshit now? So it's 3 o'clock. I'm like, I got to film at 4 o'clock. I'm like, so I take an Uber all the way to Target to get the charger. Raheem, please, for the love of God.
Raheem, come in.
So I Uber. Raheem is out here like, we've been at it all day. This man doesn't respect that I'm going through something. I Ubered all the way to Target, spent $100 to buy a new charger, Ubered back home, get home, wrong fucking charger.
No. Oh no, that's so savage.
Listen, then I called my neighbor. I'm like, hey, do you have a MacBook charger or whatever? And he was like, yeah. I was like, can I borrow it? He's like, yeah. I was like, oh, thank God. He comes and bring me the charger. A third different kind of charger. Apple needs to be jailed. Okay. What's up? So I'm like, could you please? I will pay you to go. I have to record now to go to Target and refund this for me and get me a new charger. He goes to Target. He's like, they don't have the charger at all that they need. I'm like, So
they
anyway,
don't
that's
have
where I'm
the Apple
at on my
charger?
phone. They don't give a fuck about me. No one loves me. Like that's where I'm at. Like, so that is why y'all are in my bedroom because my phone is on the charge. Because after I get off with you, I'm gonna try to go to somebody's Target to buy a new charger. So yes, I assume we was watching Anna's bullshit.
Yeah. Well, hey, first off, that sucks. I'm sorry. That's too bad.
Such as
Yeah. Second one. Yeah. So I was watching first Benny's video where she's basically talking about leaving TYT, and like, you know, good on her. All her reasons are totally. I don't know if you've seen the video yet. She had a lot of tea behind the scenes, just being like,
I watched it last night.
Okay, so you know, she explains everything, right? She's like, yeah, and like I told him this is transphobic and this is wrong. This is like unscientific. This one's unhistorical. Like you can't be spreading this. It only serves the far right. So it's not like, I think the excuse that you've been hearing from so many people where it's like, oh, maybe she doesn't know. Maybe she doesn't know what's going on. Maybe she's unaware of what her words actually mean. And like I was like, well, even if that was the case, which that's cartoonish, that we're still at that point where people like want to debate whether or not any of this is, does anything have meaning? Really? Why does anyone do anything? Like, what is fucking the philosophy of the thought process behind any of that? It doesn't matter. Either way, the message is the same. You know, it's doing the same things. It's having the same effect. I can care less about whether or not there's like, you know, some 4D chess being played at all times here.
And that's the thing. It's like for our purposes to be outraged, for our purposes on being outraged, it doesn't matter what her intent is. For the purpose of commentators and credibility and the reason why people don't trust white commentators and the white left as it matters to acknowledge her intent. Because here's the thing. I've been said this to everybody. I've been said it. This was a play from the beginning. The conscious decision, even the fact I said it from jump, the reason why she went after me in particular, the reason why she continues to talk about me is because that's the playbook. Feed a Black woman to the right for them to mobilize hate around, which is also something I think enough people don't, you know, I only want to point it out just because it's just a hypocritical area of the white left that I want to call to. It was so much dancing, and there still is so much dancing to coddle Anna, because God forbid Anna be even like politely called out or criticized by people on our own side of the aisle. But no one has given a fuck about the fact that this woman has been actively trying to feed me to right-wing hate. No one's given a shit. I have not heard that. The level of literally watching these commentators both in public and private, talking to them and seeing them still try to like make excuses for her or to just simply not put the accountability on her. Even if they're criticizing what she's saying substantively, they still don't want to hold her to task for it. They're still like, oh, I think she's dumb. I think she doesn't know what she's doing. Oh, it's not a grift. Oh, I think blah, 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 blah. She's been misled. This is a 40-year-old fucking woman with one of the largest fucking platforms in the leftist independent media. What the fuck are we talking about here? Like, she doesn't know. What are we saying? How is it simultaneously months ago? And this is my frustration. When I said months ago when she did this, that this was a fucking play, that this was a play, that this was exactly what's happening, is what I said from the beginning. I said there was no reason for us to be spending so much fucking time coddling her because she said it on purpose. It's always been a play. Then everybody, no, her track record, they're one of the most important voices. They've done so much. They've informed my entire political thought. They're so blah, blah, blah. Now suddenly, when the bitch is very fucking clearly in trouble.
I feel called out in real time because like, yeah, that was me. That was me. Fair news. Listen, I'm not lying. I was watching. I texted my boo and I was like, if you hear somebody laughing like a villain in the Bronx, it's me all the way in Brooklyn cackling. Cackling. I'm like, I fucking told everybody. I told y'all. I told you so. I told you so. When I saw that, I said, look at this shit. Look at this shit. Literally, when I took you, I was at my house last night. This is exactly how it was because I had told my boo about it. We were watching Benny's video. This is exactly how it went. Benny goes, I'm sitting next to my boo on the couch. Benny says, oh, you know, Anna and Jen, people are calling him out over their transphobia or whatever, their right-wing grift. And I look at my boo like this. He's like dying. You're gonna love this, Aliyah. White people caught up. we did it. We got there. Come on. I want to hear applause. I got sound effects.
I think it's so funny. I was talking to my boo about it. What I really think is interesting to make people to talk to Black folk about it, because It's two things that I think is so funny. Is one, right? Like the idea that she keeps trying to like mobilize hate towards me. I'm like, here's the funny thing: the difference between being a white woman on the internet and being a black woman. They always hate me every fucking day. Like, I can't even tell that it's new because they only give me. I literally wouldn't know if it weren't for the fact that y'all are telling me where the right wing hate is coming from. But it's not new. I'm like, oh, so I don't care. That's the one. But two, it's interesting to me how when people come for you and they come at you and it don't go the way they want it to go, they paint you like you're Goliath. And everybody does that shit to me. And I never say anything, but like I said, I tweeted it a couple days ago. I'm not fucking playing with nobody no more. Everybody can get the smoke they want. They want to always have my name in their mouth. I always keep it cute. But this is not the first time a white woman has come for me and then fucking unraveled based on her own actions. Kim Iverson did the same bullshit when I was on Rising, right? The minute that was a big fucking unraveling of her after in the weeks after that. And before you knew it, she wasn't at fucking Rising no more. Now here go Hannah. It's like, this is what I think is interesting. All of these people, and it doesn't get talked about. I am 29 years old. I am 29. I am an immigrant. I don't even have U.S. citizenship. I am in my fucking apartment in Brooklyn with my cat minding my fucking business. And these rich white bitches are sitting on the other side of the country with massive fucking platforms, all kind of money and power, talking shit about me on right-wing networks, acting like I'm hurting them. Ain't this some shit? I'm like, not only do I not do nothing to these bitches, I don't even fucking talk about them. In order for my whole man to know what the fuck I'm talking about, like I have to go show him a Vanguard deep dive. Like, let me play this baby while I take a shower. Let them explain to you what the drama is. I've never mentioned it in my house because it doesn't even fucking matter. I'm like, it's beautiful. It really has been. Chef's kiss. Personally, I fucking love it. This has been great. I am not upset. I can't even be mad. Like, oh, that's crazy. Nobody checking on me. All the right coming after me. Meanwhile, I know I'm in the house giggling. Like, I'm like, look at her. She's so full of shit. I just can't even be upset. I'm like, look at this. And also I want to point this out too. There's another thing I want to add just for the purposes of the white left reflecting on. She has been saying racist propaganda bullshit for longer than she's been saying transphobic shit, and everybody is fucking cool with that. When I told y'all months ago the bitch has been a fucking bigot, that Jenk and them have been bigots, look at the evidence. No, now she on fucking Twitter talking about the civil rights. She's talking about she would have been written out.
The non-violent civil rights movement.
Yo, girl, this your kid? Like, on their wallet, man. On their wallet.
Deleted. So you saw it then, because I wanted to bring that up, but I guess that was a good segue into.
I seen that this morning. And
then argued with Juniper. I was like, oh my god. It's like, let me tell you uppity trans folk how exactly it's supposed to go. I'm like, what are you doing? Did you know this is a public platform? Everything you're saying right now, everyone can see. I'm just standing there like, oh my god, it's getting worse and worse and worse. And like, yeah, now it's bad now. It's real bad. Now it's really, really bad.
I love to see it. But that's what but the gag is, right? The gag is this. Like, everybody thinks it's like, oh yeah, she's getting killed on Twitter and all these different things, but that's what she wants. The whole purpose is the narrative they've been trying to paint. That's why I said I'm not exaggerating when I say Anna and them sat down very, very logistically and made a logistical move to jump out the window with this from the beginning. All of this is an orchestration. We're all playing our fucking roles. They need an on pile, a dog pile, so that she can say, hey, look at the laugh. Look at the crazy laugh. That's why I'm leaving. And also, I just want to point this out. This is another thing. Because I saw people, these bullshit comments being like, oh, well, this is the problem now. This is why y'all keep calling her out. And that's why, what the fuck? Could y'all please kiss my ass? Let's start here. If somebody, let's pretend it were true. Let's pretend everything Anna is saying is true. Let's pretend I'm a big bad guy. Lance is a big bad guy. The leftist mafia are fucking dickheads. We all went after Anna. So the argument would be to you that one black woman and 4 white guys hurt her feelings. So now movement. She has believed different. Fuck everybody. Fuck everybody.
Fuck civil rights.
Fuck them gays. Fuck and you want me to believe that's oh yeah, she was progressive. Oh, she was progressive. Do you think a gay person or a trans person, no one has ever offended me? Like imagine. Like
that was like, holding all civil rights at bay. It was like that was it. That's what changed me. That's the right. If that's your Joker moment, That sucks. That's the stakes are so low. It's like, it wasn't until the 4 insulted me. You know, like what?
Why are you
That's
like,
like,
mafia? Girl, get a fucking break. Like, girl, like,
we're a niche micro internet podcast. It's very small and specific. You know, you gotta have a friend tell you about it. Like, oh, okay, maybe I'll check that out. I'll put it on the to-do list. You know, that's what we are. I'm fine with that. I'm okay. I'm proud of our niche.
He is unreal. I'm like, girl, can you please chill on the fuck out? What I think is just so unfortunate is just like, I think this is the thing, and I want to call this out. She's a dickhead. Like, let's keep it real right now. And I want to point this out because look how she's talking. People get shitted on the internet when I mean to my fucking haters. Look, she's talking to her friends, commentators she know. Like, let me just get this right. So Alayemi was the big bad guy because I pointed out that all I said, and let the record reflect, I never said to this lying broad, I never said cook her. I said, why are we doing all of this coddling of her when she deliberately wanted to be cooked for this was intentional, was what she wanted. She put the tweet on purpose. She knows what she was doing and she did it on purpose. That was what I said. But let's pretend that's the whole thing that makes me so terrible because God forbid my mutual, right? Like, oh my, she is going on a press run, dragging commentators she's called her friends, people she's done business with, blah, 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 blah. But that's okay. That's okay. Olaime's the big bad guy because I said, oh my God, it's the Coddle the White Lady hour at 10:30 on a Thursday night.
She's changed it to you criticizing a specific take, right, which happened to be the birthing person thing that everyone else criticized, by the way, to you calling her a racist, as if like that it was like you just jumped to the racism card or something like that.
No, and fuck her. Let me say this now because I never did call her a racist, but she fucking is. Like, let's start there. Hold on. Because I know that's the hot because y'all like her, right? No, I'm no longer playing ball with the rest of the white left and y'all's bullshit. I swear to God, I'm not putting up with it no fucking more. I gave 6 months of listening to nonsense on Leftist Mafia every Thursday when I keep trying to tell y'all something wrong with you motherfucking people. She is a racist. She was shit on by thousands of fucking people. A bunch of commentators of her own fucking friends, a gallow of white people. Of white people did fucking videos tearing her apart. She went after the one fucking black woman and months ago, and here she is now talking about me still months later feeding me. She's a fucking racist. Look at everything that's coming out of fucking mouth. She's literally talking about the civil rights movement, respectability politics. Oh, hey, niggas used to have to get killed and hosed down and civil rights. So why can't you trans people just get killed too? Like the fucking niggas. Are y'all serious? I told y'all that y'all should have never any white woman and her compadre that was on fucking TV, YouTube, wherever have you, talking about nigga this, nigga that, nigga this, nigga that, nigga this, nigga that is not your ally, is not your leader, is not a progressive. And yes, in fact, I would go as far as to call her a bigoted bitch. So let's be clear. I want to be very clear about where I stand with Anna Kasparian. I never did shit to Anna. But since Anna has me fucked up now, yes, ma'am, you are a TERF. You are not just you didn't just have a bad take. You are a TERF. You are a grifter. You are disingenuous.
Doubling, tripling down on the TERF takes too.
Yes, you are full of actual shit. You are not progressive, and you are about as racist as you are transphobic. And let me tell you something: you can take that to the bank, bitch. Because fuck you, fuck them people you try to mobilize. You think I give a fuck if you tell the right wing to hate me? They already did, ma'am. I'm an outspoken black woman. Shocker. I need to die. And you know what it really feels to me? It let me know that nobody in the white left can handle any of the bullshit that they constantly gaslight me that I am supposed to deal with and endure. Because all the fucking this, because of one dog. Do you know how many fucking times I've been shit on the fucking internet? Do you know how many times people are meaner to me and more racist to me and unkind to me? Every fucking show, every day on the internet.
Every leftist mafia. Every fucking
leftist mafia.
I think one of them I got it worse than you. Only one episode, but that was because it was the height of the Blair drama, and that was and even then you were like DMing me, you're like, "Are you okay? I know it's pretty rough out there." I was like, "Yeah," and then like you're like, "This is what I deal with every single episode." Welcome to my world, Lance.
Listen, literally today I was like, yep, I feel very validated. I always feel like, I'm like very, very valid. I was like, show my boo. I was like, you see what I'm dealing with? 40-year-old white bitches I don't know are across the country talking about me. You see this, baby? Like, so that's where I'm at. I wish I could see the Serfs chat. I'm so oppressed right now. Tell Roller Dragon I said, hey.
You're so impressed. I mean, if you want me to reread what both chats have been saying, it's basically the Twitch chat has basically been doing the fire emote en masse and doing just nonstop like Ole is right, drag her, blah blah blah. Oh my god, this is so spitting facts, bars. Who is this? Does she have Twitch? Oh my god, she's incredible. So yeah, Twitch chat is pretty on board, and then Serf's chat obviously is just like nonstop praise. I'm not going to tell you what the Serf chat's saying because your ego is going to inflate too much. All right,
First of all, I love that.
yeah,
I'm a Leo.
for your man's mental health, I'm going to make sure the ego is reduced by like 10% just for him because he sounds like a good dude.
I'm assuming I need to stop claiming my business and talking my business, because then people are that is Surf's private information. Don't go tell y'all Surf chat. Don't go tell nobody I have nobody's man. Don't go say that. I have a boo. Nothing to share with the public. Yo, I like to record an episode for my show with Rebecca and Gabrielle, and tell me why we were supposed to talk about something entirely different. These bitches tricked me into a dating episode. Like when I say to you, Rebecca came,
no way.
And they came in with a plan. Rebecca's
it's gonna be so good.
So it's good. I haven't decided if I'm going to put it out. I'm like, am I just gonna hold this? I have to find out if the audience would even what I'm like. You should see them. Rebecca's like, they're like talking about their dating thing. I'm like, oh, it's a business on Maine. They're like, Rebecca's like, and so am I. Are you available? I'm like, yes, I'm looking. That's how he got me.
This is the best reason to start a Patreon. You can start a Patreon. This is the first like exclusive content that only the super fans get. You know,
that's literally what I was telling my editor. I was like, the minute I get my green card, I'll make a Patreon or YouTube membership and put it as behind the wall content. I was like, I don't have any problem if y'all want to know my business to pay for it. But I was like, oh child, my dating business on Maine. Oh.
That's a big thing on streaming. Like Hassan's been on a bunch of dating shows. Like a lot of big streamers have. It's a huge thing. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't even know that. I don't, I'd be like, not my business. It is a fun episode. I might do it. I'm putting out an Olea and Friends on Sunday with the original people from the first episode talking about affirmative action. And then I have another Olay and Friends, all queer one. I just finished filming it. That's what I was doing my internet talking about the Supreme Court, what they just did. And that's a great one. So that's at planned. But yes, I literally too happy to talk to you about this, Lance.
Well, I was gonna say your video quality, if this is your phone, it's really good. Like
Thank you.
Yeah, like I've got you like on the large version, so it's like a little small lens, and then you're like the main attraction of the stream right now, and it looks really like it's high quality. Yeah,
I like that. It must be the light from outside in my room. Y'all can't see it, but I tore my apartment the fuck on up. When I get this charger, it looks crazy out there. So y'all in here where it's safe. And Raheem's out there glaring at me. Raheem is glaring. I'll show y'all. Hold on. Look at Raheem. Hold on, let me flip the camera. How do we flip it?
Commie Space Wizard wants me to remind you to let everyone know your Cash App.
Oh, yes. Y'all should give me some money. I'm poor. It's Learn11. Oh, let me, hold on. Let me type it in our chat lines. That's how Discord works, right? Let me do that and you tell the people.
It's already in the Serfs TV chat, so it just has to be
they know?
in the Twitch
it.
chat. Yeah, it's actually a command. If you do hashtag Olay, it puts all your socials on the chat.
Oh, that's how they do it. I just thought Roller Drat. Oh, not the cat came to me because he saw me look at him. He said clearly he talk to me.
Oh, hi Raheem.
He said, all right, I'm gonna be in the conversation. So the cat has joined. He's this codependency, y'all's man's like, and you ain't even give a chance. But what if I wanted to get some money out of you showing up? You just gonna show up for the free?
That's true. I have the same problem with Chico. They got to start earning their keep. I think they've been freeloaders, right? Just like paying all the bills, feeding them. Yeah, no,
like spoiled. But yeah, no, Lance, I'm very excited for us to talk about things because yeah, child, it's insane. It's really insane that we are being like. But again, like it's not real. Like I said, we know it's disingenuous, so that's why. So it doesn't blow my mind that much why leftist mafia is being called out in particular. But it's so crazy because after Castle, leftist mafia was pussyfooting around that whole episode.
Like honestly, it was one of those things where I was so kind and so polite, trying to do the whole like, yes, time for white civility here in the political realm. And what ended up happening is I just got fucking roasted over and over and over. It was like I got accused of things I didn't say. I got accused of she took Tim Pool's position on this fucking, like, as if I was the one wanting to bring up, like, 9 months into the fucking, do women have abortions at the 9th month bullshit. I was like, no. She regurgitated. She, like, in that video.
Lying like the shit wasn't on video.
It is. Yeah, that's the other
on
thing.
Video. Like, why are you lying this much?
I know.
It's on video.
That's the next thing I'm going to do. I'm going to make I'm going to edit a little like cut between the two, so you can actually see the reality versus the accusation. But like, yeah, what did civility politics get me in this case? Everyone's accusing me of like throwing her under the bus. Like, that's what the people in the right are saying. I was like, I never threw Anna under the bus. I was in the most polite terms being like, this ain't it. I know this because you know this. 11 months ago, you had my take and Olayemi's take. Here's a video.
And that's why here's
nice. You. This is your words. You know this is wrong.
It always comes down to you being too fucking nice. I done told you it always, every time you in some bullshit, it could have been avoided in some way by not being fucking nice. If you listen, it's by not being, it's being too fucking nice. Because people, I really truly am of the mindset now we have to show these people who to stop fucking playing with. Because the reason that the only reason why she feel like she keep calling you by name and blah 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 is because Lance is nice. Everybody was trying this shit with you because you're nice. A lot of niggas hate me quietly because they know good and fucking well I will let the chopper sing.
Oh,
like that's what
man.
that's what happened in the Vanguard. I was like, you know what? Clearly, you people do not understand that you're getting the nicest version of me that exists. I was being a nice bitch to you before.
Every single time you light someone up on Twitter, I do two things. First, I burst out laughing, and then second, I'm like, I never want to be in the sniper scope ever. Like, if there's anything I'm gonna do, it's avoid fucking, being the target du jour. Because holy fuck, she goes hard, and it's always so ruthless to the point where, like, especially when it's dudes, you can see it just shatters what's left of the male ego. It's just like.
And they gotta stop fucking playing with me because they always bother me because I genuinely do not bother me. There's so many mutuals I don't fucking like that, or I think are full of shit, or I don't like their beliefs, or I see their takes and I'm like, what kind of idiot, stupid shit is this? More times than not. But I'm like, why would I don't care. It doesn't matter. Blah, 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 blah. And it's like, what is going on with these? Why do these people be coming for me like this? And I just feel like, you know what? Clearly, these niggas think I'm the one. Clearly, they do. I don't know where it got misconstrued. I was like, everybody used to know not to fucking play with me. I started kicking it with these white boys every Thursday, and now everybody thinks I'm the one. I said, I'm going to make it clear. The rest of those niggas might want to be but fuck that. Literally, I woke up today, and I was like, what's a great thing? I have my own show. I was like, I will be letting the chopper sing. I was like, oh, keep talking about me. And there's another thing. Nobody who can't pronounce my name needs to keep having it in their fucking mouth. Stop. She calls me Ole, bitch. We're not friends. Okay, you are my adversary. Don't call me no fucking Ole. My name is Olayemi, and you don't know how to say it. You've never fucking said that. So why the fuck you talking about me? Why does anybody who can't say my name feel like they have the authority to declare themselves my official victim or enemy? I ain't done shit to you. And also, like I want to say again, these grown motherfucking people need to stop bothering me. I am a young person in comparison to you old hating bitches. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. I'd be like, I really don't think anybody takes that. I'm like, it comes off like, oh, I'm Goliath after, because Ole gaslit me. She was mean to me. She called me I'm like, and first of all, I never called this woman a racist. What I did was post a compilation of you saying nigga. If that leads you to believe the accusation is out of being a racist, because usually saying nigger repeatedly would mean such, then that's on you, baby. The glove sound like the glove fit. So clearly we cannot acquit, girl. Like. So that's basically where I'm at with her. She's a hater. Cenk is a clown. They're both silly. And I feel bad, honestly. Well, I don't feel, when I say feel bad, I mean theoretically. I don't actually give a fuck. But I theoretically feel bad for the other people at TYT that are not full of shit.
Oh, I fully feel bad for them. Absolutely. There's so many good people who work at TYT that, like, it's not representational of the entirety of TYT. And it's not even representational of Cenk now. I don't know if you saw the recent clip, but Cenk is pushing back on Anna because he's talking about this, like, they interviewed Trump supporter. He's a MAGA Republican.
Cenk tweeted the other day that he was in favor of the affirmative action ruling.
Oh.
Cenk is a bigot clown. He was an original. And let me tell you something. Anna is just as complicit as Cenk has been, and she's been just as much of a bigot the whole time. And this narrative has always been, oh, Cenk, but Anna's not as bad. And the only reason that is, again, and I've said this from jump, and leftist mafia is very fucking guilty of that, and we know who, like, of this, like, I can't, this white woman, oh, I can't, I must save. It's a very paternalistic white man has to get in front of the white woman thing. Everybody acting like, and I think that's the case. This has always been, that's her team. She's standing next to them. They are literally a fucking partner in crime duo. They've always been there saying and peddling bullshit. They've said more bullshit. They say so much bullshit that it can't even go viral 9 times out of 10. Because I said, like I said, the affirmative action kick, you didn't know about that. You said that shit days ago. Because I saw it and I was like, look at this nigga. Hey, look at him. Everybody, just the other day, them, oh, trans issues are costing us electoral strategy. I'm like, look at these lying bitches. Statistically, don't nobody vote on trans issues one way or the next. No Democrat has lost an election because of a trans position, right? But suddenly they're using election strategies and polls as their justification for why you need to be transphobic because it's not popular. Also, and again, I want to keep saying this. Both of these people, Cenk has they have lost what if they won? They have never been elected. They've never been elected for nothing. They're not even the most popular people in the internet town square of the left. We can't stand they fucking asses. Who are they to keep talking about popularity in polls and winning for Democratic strategy? Blah, 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 blah. What does that mean?
And by the way, they know all that because that was their position as of 6 to 7 months ago. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, okay, well, we're actually going to cater now a little bit more to the center and talk about how the left has lost their minds and things are going too far. And honestly, what is it? Is the going getting tough? I think, is that it? Is it like, it's not as easy just to be like, well, I love Will and Grace, so I'm for queer rights. It's like, well, now people are getting shot. Now people are calling in death threats, bomb threats. Now people are passing hundreds of fucking bills in the United States. It's a little scarier out there right now. So yeah, maybe you're going to change your positions on some of your fundamental beliefs about civil rights. You know, it's like because some people were mean to you online.
First of all, let's keep it real. They were always transphobic. There was a video. Let me just say this now, because I really need people to understand that if you think that I am proverbially shooting somebody in the timeline, please trust that I'm sparing some bullets. I have more, right? But like when I put out the compilation, I say, nigga, there's a whole compilation. I could have easily put out the compilation of Cenk and her laughing at a woman saying all kind of transphobic stuff about our parents. You know we have the video. Okay, so they've been transphobic. I need us to stop perpetrating like these niggas wherever anybody's friends or allies. What they are is people in business. And I need us to understand that they're in business. Okay, they were openly transphobic on their network in 2009 or whatever the fuck year it was they was doing business, right? They were openly that. People have it's the thing is people that don't care about particular populations have a short memory because they didn't give a fuck in the first place, right? So they were always openly transphobic. Then they took positions that they know are what the left, because that's their brand. That's what they was trying to cater to. They took positions that they know are the leftist positions on being supportive of the trans community. And when they realized, hey, actually more money is in the right, the YouTube favors that algorithm, oh, this right-wing pivot, blah, 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 they switched back. But none of it is genuine. These have never been, I keep trying to say this, we need to stop confusing political commentators and media people for fucking movement leaders. They're not that.
No.
Yeah, so they're always been full of shit.
They're podcasters. They're Twitch streamers. They're YouTubers. They're all entertainers. Every single one of them is an entertainer. You know, that's why I hate when people are constantly doing this thing like at this point where it's just like, oh, that person's a socialist. Oh, that person's a communist. Oh, don't worry, they're good because they're. I was like, I don't give a fuck about those anymore because at the end of the day, it's like, what do these people do both IRL and then what do they advocate for on their show? That's more important to me. Like I'd way rather know what's the consistent message and what are they fighting for kind of thing. You know?
What I think is so annoying about like their role in this thing is like, oh my God, like you have such a bare minimum thing you have to do. Like, let's be honest, like you are not, no one is asking you to go out in the streets and become an organizer. Nobody is asking them to become scholars. Nobody's asking them to write anything. Nobody's asking them to become, no one's asking anything of them other than you chose to have this kind of platform. Literally, it doesn't take there's nothing that compels you to be transphobic or to be on the right, to have these bigoted conversations and fly out the window like that. You don't. You can choose to have productive conversations. You can choose to put these people on there. You can choose to do whatever you want. Like, I just did a panel of fucking 5 different kinds of Black queer people for my show because I can, because you have the platform and you want to. There's nothing stopping them from doing so. It's like this. There's such an easy bare minimum thing you have to do. It's like right now, the trans community is under fucking attack, like in every fucking shape, form, and direction, all over the nation. And that's tea. That's true. You don't have to it's just the fucking truth, my nigga. It is. And so it's like, the The trans community has to try to survive. They have to try to find hope. They have to try to find healthcare and all that. They have to fight from every angle. They have to fight society treating them like shit in their day-to-day life. They have to fight being treated on like shit online. They have to fight being denied medical care. They have to fight danger, violence, racism, every kind of fucking issue. All you have to do, in fact, she could do better for the trans community by shutting the fuck up.
Yes.
If you don't care about the on God. If
yes.
you don't care about 100%. The trans community, you don't want to be informed to learn.
Yeah.
If
don't
you feel
talk
like
about
allyship to the trans community
don't
will cost
comment
you
then.
viewers.
Yeah.
If you feel like allied to the trans community will cost you viewers or money or sponsorship or something like that, then shut the fuck up. That would be less harmful than
spreading right-wing talking points.
I'm going to seek out the worst transphobic right-wing alt-right fucking narratives and foolishness and lies and spew it at the top of my fucking lungs unprovoked. Yeah. And that's why, and you know what, and
unprovoked,
because let me keep it real. I would wager that whoever is behind the scenes and the money, whoever their funders is, listen to me, as somebody who was in the nonprofit industrial complex, let me tell you something. These messengers and commentators, whether it be the left on the right, people are being paid, people have agendas, and if you see these people suddenly, they were saying something different 7 months ago and now they've made this fucking sharp pivot, there is money behind the scenes that is pushing them in that fucking direction. That's the quiet part that they're not gonna say out loud. So listen, they're full of shit and I wish you'd shut the fuck up.
Yeah. It's like no notes. I agree with like literally every single thing you're saying, and honestly it's like unprovoked is probably the most important part, because it's like no one put you up to this. Like no one put you up to birthing person. You see the new one, Bonus Hole, where she's like, oh, a report just came out from the UK. Yeah, okay, maybe you haven't. Did I almost make you spit take?
What report from the UK? What's the report? Tell me the report.
All right, I'm going to rewind this one. So yeah, in that Adam and Sid show, Anna starts talking about how LGBTQ plus demands are getting a little outrageous in some ways, and they're starting to do things like, she's like, did you hear about the story in the UK where apparently this LGBTQ plus group wants to erase the word vagina? They want to erase it from the English language, and now they want to replace it with bonus hole, And I was like, this is not an issue. This is not real. In my head, I was like, I guarantee you, if I look this up right now, it's going to turn out that this was a right-wing fucking op, that right-wingers promoted this story. Like, yeah, maybe it's true, but in the fucking West, in North America, you're going to see, sure enough, Ollie London, the right-wing fucking, grifter, racist, extreme racist, fucking, I want to get surgery to look Korean by having a penis reduction, Ollie London, was the one who was promoting this story. Why, Anna, are like, now you have given the right the ability to say it's also progressives. Look, progressives are also talking about how extreme things have gotten. Progressives are calling out how these so-called activists are making ridiculous demands, like the bonus hole demand.
You know what I hate about whiteness, like, and what I hate about whiteness in the white world or whatever, as a construct to deal with this foolishness, is like, it's interesting. In the same breath that they will trivialize, like you'll dismiss the trans community or the Black community, any community that you will try and chalk up to identity politics, right? Because God forbid they care about issues that they are like literally living and experiencing the harm from, right? But it is somehow not a problem that their entire Anna, regardless, before I even get to the substantive nature of the fuckery that she's talking about, why is everybody trying to call me? Hold on.
I was like, your video just changed into, okay.
Someone tried to call me. Before I even get to the substantive nature of the fuckery and the foolishness that she's talking about, ultimately what these people's gripe is all about, my feelings. Oh, I don't like this thing. I don't, whatever. So it's a personal, according to you, it's a personal thing too, right? It's no just way, it's a personal thing for us, our lived experience. It's personal for you, right? So then let's get to the second layer of that. It's nothing you've experienced. Like, it's always like, that's what it always can. It's like Anna, she gets so upset at anybody calling her a white woman or anything that she thinks references is her privilege, right? But do you know how fucking privileged you have to not have a real problem? Like, let me explain that to you. Like, you can't even point to something that is happening to fucking you. You are literally, according to you, you are doing deep dive research to find fucking gripes with the LGBT community. Bitch, you live in California. What the fuck does what they doing in the fucking UK have to fucking do with you? Right? Like, it's never something that happened to her. You know what I mean? It's never some shit. Oh, this thing I heard, Jenkins, I heard. And they never have a fucking source to say. They heard from the imaginary nigga that whispers bigoted shit in their fucking ear. I heard. They want to, and let's say you heard correct. Let's say you heard correct, bitch. So some people in the UK don't want nobody to say vagina. Did yours melt away? When you like, did you become unable? Like, are you being stopped in any way from saying vagina? Is something happening to you in this separate country with a First Amendment? In this land right here. What the fuck are you talking about? Oh, goofy bitch. I'm telling you, everything out of mouth is fucking hypothetical.
Someone in chat just pointed out the article that she's referencing is from 2020. It's 3 years old. It's not only just in the UK, it happened 3 years ago.
She is, listen, she has to be stopped. She is so full of shit. Anna is
that's deeply unserious. Come on, that's ridiculous.
She is full of shit. Like, she is the most full of shit human being. Like, I'm like, I can't even believe this woman is wasting my goddamn time with this foolish shit. It's so, like, when she said, oh, apparently I am white passing. I said, oh, this bitch is gonna make me somersault out the window. I said, I'm really blown away. This is a woman who's fucking dyeing her hair platinum blonde every fucking second of the year. You ain't never seen the bitch is not a natural blonde, but you don't never see a brown strand because she stays blonded up, baby. I'm gonna walk this earth as the white blonde lady God wanted me to be. But don't you call me no white woman. Like, imagine me. I'm not black, I'm Bahamian. Like, I've had enough. Like, I've had enough of the madness.
You know what's great about that? That actually probably will put it into focus for white people. They'll be like, oh.
It's ridiculous. Oh, listen.
Oh, wow. Oh, that's interesting. Neat.
She blew me white passing. Oh, that shit blew the fuck out of me. That blew mine, nigga. White passing. I said, I'm going to fall out. Passing. I said, okay, this is powerful.
I'll be honest. I don't know why white people are so ashamed of this, because like I lean into it. I was like, you know, when I learned about this, when I learned beyond the theory, I was like, oh yeah, I've taken advantage of being a white dude a lot. I was like, I use my white privilege every police encounter I've ever had. I have so much undue confidence. Olayemi, you have no idea.
They're so full of shit. They're so full of shit. She literally, she fights being called a white woman in her preface to making her point to the people about the plights of white people who are not being. She literally follows up. She's like, apparently, so I guess apparently, white people and how they, that we're innately this. So let me get this right. So hold on. Let me be clear. You are not a white woman. You do not identify as a white woman. But if I make a critique about white women, you feel like you're being spoken to.
Oh, interesting.
So what is that? What does that fucking tell us? What does that tell us?
Chess. I like this.
Because if somebody starts talking about a Middle Eastern woman, I won't be like, oh, lie at me. You mean me? I won't be like, this woman is so full of shit. It's unbe-fucking-lievable. Like, I'm like, yo, and these are the people, it makes me question the whole, like, let me tell you something. I'd be like, yo, if these are your, listen, white left, y'all are not sending out your best. Okay? Because if this is what I've been
hey, come on now. Hashtag not all white left. Hashtag not all white left, everyone, okay? I strongly disagree. If this is getting clipped, I'm going to say hashtag not all white left. Come on.
No, hashtag not all white left. So, dead ass. But I was like, but child, all white left, sure they believed that this was the one.
People in the chat are like, we don't claim her. We don't claim her.
I'm telling you, I literally, this morning, I was looking at all this and I was going to tweet out. I was like, this is why I don't talk to y'all. I literally was like, this is why I made Olay and friends. I was like, let me just talk to this. I was like, what is this? What is this? Because everybody knew. Foreign man in a foreign line, my boy Foreign made a video months ago called the Young Turfs, the turf pipeline, that Anna's on the turf pipeline. Everybody who is not invested in protecting whiteness and protecting and being paternalistic to the white woman and blah, 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 but knew what the fuck was up. Because let me tell you something. One thing about me, if it quacked like a duck, it walked like a duck, it looked like it's a fucking duck then. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, everything out of her mouth has been bigoted. Like, looks like a bigot to me. Like, but okay. I was like, no, that's not that was always funny to me because that was the conversation we was having on Leftist Mafia that was annoying me then. Everybody would constantly tell me all I ever see from them in the present is bigoted bullshit, is idiot, not just bigoted things, but dumb bigoted shit. That's all I ever see from them in the press. And everybody goes, no, you don't understand their track record. No, they've done so good. And so then I go looking and I see the past, and I only see bigoted shit. And I'm like, so me, okay. So you say not bigot present day, because good in past, but in past, bigot. So, and now look at the future. Hold on, but now look at the future. Now look at the future. Look at what the future behold. Hey, I said, listen, a bitch. I wish whoever has watched Leftist Mafia from episode 1 to now, just somebody compile on the amount of times that I said, but giving these goddamn people the benefit of the doubt and all this foolishness and their bad faith and their blah. I said, hey, I done talked till I'm blue in the face, and I was like, a bitch is right. That's all I know. A bitch is right. And one thing about me, I be doing people a favor, because if I tell you what I really think, I always tell people my silence is a favor. I don't talk about a lot of things. People will bag me. Why don't you talk about such and such? Why don't you talk about such and such? Because I'm going to drag your fave. Okay? Let me be quiet and peace.
And you won't be able to handle that is the other thing, right? Because like fans get really sensitive too, because there's that parasocial relationship, everyone's formed, you know, and then all of a sudden it's like, whoa, why are you going after blah blah blah? You must be the real racist. And now you're like, you know, the anti-white racist online, you know?
No, exactly. Exactly. And they do that. But I just decided I don't give a fuck no more. I realized, I was like, you know what? If everybody, like I said, for me, I'm a lawyer. I really think of it as like you opened the door. Like if we precluded, there had been a motion to preclude this. We didn't have to have this drama. But now here you are yet again. If you boldly decide to call my name on a platform, then I don't give a fuck. I have said this to my followers so many times. I care about people's mental health, so I try and keep it cute. But if you give me any inclination that you don't give a fuck about mine, well, fuck you then, bitch, because you clearly don't care. You keep trying to put my name. That's the thing that I find interesting, and I'm going to keep making that point. The fact that no one hones in on that. She's making a deliberate, conscious effort to try and mobilize hate towards me. You know what I mean? Like, and that has happened to so many Black women on the internet or whatever. Every Black woman I know on the Black leftist space, blah, 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 hates towards them. And I'm just going to tell you this right now. I'm not pussy. Let me just say that now. Y'all picked the right one. I'm not scared. I don't care. You could say whatever. You could blah, blah, blah. And let me tell you something. You ain't going to beat me in a war of words, pussies. And it's a war of words because you're not going to do shit. You okay? You have you're hiding behind your anonymous thing. You're not going to run up on me. And even then, I have hands. So I'm going to tell you right now. I'm going to tell you right now. If y'all want it with me, I got you. Okay, I got you. I got you. If you want it with me, by all means, it could be a good, nice relationship. If you are nice to me, I'm nice to you. I will be nice as fuck to you. I will be so nice to people who are nice to me. But if you decide to smoke, then all right. I got something for that ass then. Anna, you want to keep talking about me? I keep trying to explain to people, I am not American. I am on my best behavior. I be being nice to people. I be talking to you in standard English. That's not even how I talk. All right. If you want me to be a stinking, disgusting Bahamian, I got you. Okay. So I got Anna. See, I got some fun. Like, you want to keep talking about me? By all means, you should have picked somebody else, but I got you. I got you, miss. I got you. And I have research. Okay. You think I don't know that you're a clown? I've been knew you was a clown. I just don't say nothing. Clown ass. Okay. Like, harassing all your trans followers. Like, that's so crazy to me. The woman out here blocking all this. I said, look at her. He said, look at her blocking everybody. Oh,
I mean, like, if that other, I mean, like, I don't know if you want to get into it, but if it is something where there's actually potentially like a fiduciary reason to go down that pathway, that might explain some of it. But otherwise, it's like you are like very consciously having what are universally being condemned by your peers takes over and over and over, right? And I get like, oh, you know, everyone sometimes gets like bad faith, because of course, if you have a big platform, people will hate you just for you. And if you're, you know, you're racialized, they'll hate you for that. If you're trans, they'll hate you for that. If you're gay, they'll hate you, whatever. That's all true and happens and is real. But at the end of the day, when it comes down to like a take where your peers, the people who respect you, and I'm sure you respect them back, are all like, this is wrong. And then after, I don't know what goes beyond quadrupling, when you get to a point where it's like a ton of big name trans like accounts, people, you know, advocates, all this kind of stuff are telling you this is fucked up. Like, this isn't just bad, this is fucked up. Like, don't promote Jesse Singal. Are you like, what? That dude is a massive, well-known transphobe. The shit he did with the Atlantic was dangerous and damaging, you know? And you know, of course you know. Yeah, no, yeah, of course.
And that's the point. point. And I think that's the important part that people need to get. That is the point. And I think what everybody needs to understand, and I think this is going to be a hard pill for the white left to swallow, is she doesn't see y'all as her friends. You're not her friends. You're not the people she cares about. It's not a take, it's a school of thought. Like, and that's the important part. And I've said this before. Listen, one thing I really appreciate about the Bahamians, you don't have to fucking like it. Most of the views that are prevalent in the Bahamas are views I fucking hate, but Bahamians will own that. Bahamians, if you call a Bahamian a homophobe that is homophobic, they are not gonna get bent out of shape. They will say some homophobic shit with a smile on their face right after that. But they will be okay with it.
Americans know, like Canadians too. Like, if you call a white person a racist, that's the worst thing you could ever call me. I was like, but you are. I thought you didn't like mind the fact that you have those takes. That's okay. So you consider it. Same thing with like if you call a fucking a straight person a homophobe, they're like, no, I'm not. I got gay friends. And like, no, but you are homophobic. I don't get why you don't like. It's not. I didn't think this was an insult to you. I thought it was a descriptor. I thought you were just like aware and proud of your homophobia. Okay, well here we are. Neat.
Like, my daddy don't get. I call my daddy misogynist all the time. He does not get upset.
He's like, I'm a proud misogynist. All right.
My daddy's, he's one in recovery, but one nonetheless. But he knows how what it is. Like, I never.
That's
get
good.
that.
That's good. We stand recovery. Yeah, that's good.
If somebody tweeted, if some right-wing person, and they have done it before, like Stephen Crowder. I remember Stephen Crowder quote tweeted me talking about, did you just call us withering whites? I did. I meant that. That was what I meant to say.
I remember. I remember that. I remember
like if they tweet out, I had a Republican senator or someone one time like tweet about, call me like a radical public defender who hated the police. Okay. I was like,
apparently he's an abolitionist.
Yeah, I was like, but I certainly do hate the police. Like, you know what I mean? Like, the energy you add to it, it might be different, but yeah, I don't fuck with them. I'm not like, like, you know what I mean?
How dare you? I back the blue. I am the blue. What are you saying? Like,
no, it's just like it's the need to and it's the way she's victimizing herself, right? It's like, I'm being gaslit and everybody's after me. The crazy dog piling left. They're so mean. There's no space for other views. And it's nuts because here's the gag about this. The only person bringing it up and arguing is her, because again, it's deliberate. She's the only fucking one. She jumped out the window with this shit. When I'm pretty sure when, you know how long ago this foolishness was? My locks were blonde. What are we talking about? Bitch, this is old.
You've changed several colors since then, I think, too. Right?
Listen, exactly. Yeah. What are we talking about? Like, ma'am, I don't even, did I even have my own show at the time?
I don't.
Or did I just like?
Or you may just be launching around then, but yeah.
See, I don't even know. She's the one talking about this. Like, she's the only one. I'm like, ma'am. And you see it, let the record reflect. I just put up my Laverne Cox interview. Laverne brought up Anna. Did I jump on Anna? Did I add any salt to it? Nothing. Because I don't give a fuck about Anna. I literally don't care. She's so uninteresting to me. These people are so uninteresting. TYT is so fucking boring. It is stupid. Like, everything they say is dumb. It is whack. I think the production quality on the show, especially how they do everybody else's shows that they manage through TYT, I'm like, the production, terrible. Big conglomerate puts all its money into these two losers sitting next to each other like it's fucking 1995, talking silly shit. Like, whack ass show, whack ass network, whack. So my point is, I don't even say nothing about them. I'm like, I don't watch that shit, and I maintain that. I'm like, I don't watch this garbage. But I'm like,
you didn't do the jump off for any of this, by the way. Like, I will agree with you. Let the record show that I came back this weekend to a whole bunch of people adding me and being like, Lance, can you believe what they said about Olayemi and you? Have you watched it yet? Blah blah. I was like, I'm just getting home. Let me catch up. Blah blah. You know. And then you're DMing me, being like, oh, I'm on the Vanguard. You got to check this out too. And I'm like, all right, let me just watch. And then like I started by watching your like little 10-minute Vanguard video, and I was like, holy fuck, no way. And then like everyone like was like, Lance, this is not like, these are clips out of context. It's not indicative of what the whole like thing will be like. So I'm like, okay, you know what?
The whole thing is worse.
So much worse. When it's like 2.5 hours. I was like, what the fuck? Are we honestly doing these takes? I was like, this is fucking so many things I only hear from like right wingers.
I don't even, that's the thing. I'm not even interested enough to watch it. I'm not gonna hold you. That's the thing is, if hundreds of people let me know, give me the gist that you talk. All I needed to know was that my name was explicitly said. I did not. Well, I don't got no time to watch it. And quite frankly, I will always maintain this. If the white people are on the black woman's side, bitch, you fucked up. You everybody knows you jumped out the window. When I looked in the chat's word against me, I said, oh, she bitch is wildin'. I know she's wildin'. Just off of that. And for me, it was like, I often tune into the Vanguard stream. I subscribe to them. Usually if I see a live, I click notify. If my face is on the live though, or it's something about, I'm definitely going. So I go there and I look at the chat and people are like, Olay, oh damn, she's still talking about Olay, she's still talking about Olay. So I'm like responding. And I just finished filming. I was filming Olay in France. So I'm in front of my mic. So I was like, hey, rub me the link. Rub me the fucking link. We calling names now as we're doing this. I'm like, oh, you think clearly you didn't appreciate when I packed you up the first time. I got something for you. Okay. I think of this woman. I was like, why does she keep acting like niggas do not have the internet? Like I can't get on or something and post. I'm like, why? I'm like, and let me get this right. And this is what I think is so funny. How I know people don't want it with me. If it bothered you this much, if you are so upset when I was being nice,
that changed all your political beliefs.
I was like, I like you. When I said, oh, I like you, it bothered you. You sat on for 3 weeks, me saying, oh, yeah, this is the coddle the white lady hour. How do you think you're going to like it when I decide, girl, fuck you? Like when I start moving with you, because you worse than like a random troll hater. You bitch, you on a press run. Or you on a right-wing circuit press run talking about my fucking name. So what do you think is going to happen then? I'm like, I don't know what you think you're going to say about me. There's nothing what are you going to do? You're just going to keep telling, you're going to keep telling the right, she's a black woman that says that I'm a bigot. Okay, yeah. What else? You got something? Do you have something on me? You don't. Because unlike y'all, I don't do the fuck shit y'all do. I'm not on nobody's prayer. You can't get no bunch of fucking compilation of me saying fuck ass shit and doing nonsense and because I don't do shit like that. Okay, and it's another thing too. I'm not a lying ass nigga like everybody in these spaces. Everybody else is fake. They talk all this bullshit. They blah, blah, blah. That's my friend. I will walk you right through it from beginning to end. I will share all my motherfucking interactions. This is what it is. I had decided on the weekend. Listen, I'd already decided on the weekend I was done fucking playing with the white left. I was done playing with them. I decided it on the weekend. I'm telling you. I talked to Jesus about it. I said, you know what? I got something for everybody's ass. And then she did this. I said, okay. I said, God, you wanted to make sure that I got you, God. Okay? I got you, Jesus.
Here's a premonition. I've had three people in the chat now have added me about this comment to tell you. Tell Alay that she defended Rittenhouse. I need to see her reaction.
Oh no, I see him. Oh no, I see him. No, I see him. No, I see him. I see him. I was like, and again, I always want to harper on how little is the focus ever on the racist thing she does, or like the racist, the propaganda. Like that's never the highlight. They have been saying. They have been doing. I'm like, honestly, for the left that prides itself, the white left, like they're so intellectual, so much analysis, so much of this, all this shit we talk on the internet all day on Twitter, and for nobody to do a critical analysis of the choice actors and who she's going after, what she's saying, blah blah blah, all the propaganda takes us flying under the surface, all the racist, and that's because of the main reason. Jump. A lot of the white left don't give a fuck. Like, let's be honest. There's a reason why there are very few black voices. They don't listen to anybody. There's no desire to protect a black woman the way that there is to protect this white woman. Because again, to this day, I still ain't watched no fucking video of the rest of them defending me, including people on our own fucking show. But every fucking time some added shit happens, let's jump out the fucking da-da-da-da-da-da. Let's try to be on the ones that's listening today. Blah, 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 blah. But where has been look what she's doing, that she's going after? No, where has been that? Where has been the desire to protect the black woman? None. And I'm like, and that right there, it really goes to show. Like, I'm seeing it. I'm like, yeah, all right, good. My confirmation, my suspicions are correct. My suspicions are right. I'm just gonna hit everybody with I told you so, and I told you fucking so.
Do you have predictions for the future from beyond here now?
They're gonna go. You're gonna see them. They give them the end of the year. They're gonna make a louder pivot in some way. I mean, she's pretty much just, she basically said she's leaving the left, but she's gonna get somebody. People are like, oh, she's gonna fuck. She can go to something. They're gonna do something. But the funny thing about TYT, this is the joke I think is so funny about TYT, is they're they're done, right? Like their glass ceiling is what it is. Like the reality is you can do all these things, different things to ingratiate yourself with the right. The reason why they feel like they have to blow it up as much as they're doing, she keeps doing, is because it's not taking the way she wants it to. Because they don't care as much about them. They're not the new. At the end of the day, they're a dying generation. You know what I mean? Like let's be honest, Hassan is bigger than them. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah,
Hassan
yeah,
is
yeah.
more the second generation. They don't matter. Nobody that's actually coming up on the scene, no one matters. They matter.
Hassan's
to
like
a
10
leftist-
TYTs.
Like, let's keep it real. They have never, what is their influence or their impact has never been what they think it is. That's the reason why they can't win no fucking elections, right? No matter how much they get beside themselves with their internet fame, they can't go win shit. And then on the internet, look at how the tides have changed. They're not valuable to the right the way they want to be valuable. They're just not. They aren't. All they do, they will serve for them for a particular like media narrative, but they're not going to be somebody. If they think they're going to get some big Daily Wire deal or Rumble, they'll get something, but they're not going to be like.
Oh, they could get a big Rumble deal. You could get a Rumble deal. I think significant enough. If they would have to like, it couldn't just be on the trans issue. They would have to like start to center all their politics. Like they're already there. Obviously, they're pretty right wing with propaganda. They're pretty right wing with fucking prison abolition. They're pretty right wing with like their criminal justice reform. So they would have to steer in some of the more social, I think, aspects of it. But they would make bank on Rumble. Someone wants me to tell you this too. Sorry. Ask 3 Logic says, I was kicked out of TYT Army because I wasn't productive enough when volunteering after I got sick from cancer. This was in 2019. They've been bad like this for years.
Hey, you see them? Hey, listen, monsters, nigga, monsters. They're monsters. That's fucking crazy. And also, I'm sorry that you've been through it. I hope you are good. Are you good now? The audience, I'm asking them to make sure that they're good. They had cancer in 2019, so I want to make sure.
Ask you, are you better now? Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh,
no.
What is this empathy on the internet? I've never seen such things.
Yeah, I just listen. I integrity is important, and like listen, like I said, this is not about a take. It's not about one take. Like that's the thing. It's not about one take. And at the end of the day, it's also not even about our problem with it. It's not. They are quite literally calling people out and trying to demand people fight with them. It's not us. Like they make these bad takes all the time. We see it and we don't say anything. I see, like I told you, I seen Cenk with affirmative action. I still follow Cenk. I don't say anything. I don't give a fuck. So, and I think that's how most people feel about them. But what they're doing is, again, because they want us, they need the dog pile for what they're trying to do. They're trying to pivot to the right. And I don't think they're ever going to be what it is that they want to be. Because I'm always comforted in reminding myself that all these commentators are regular people. And I say that to say this. Whatever their Achilles heel in their personal life is what their Achilles heel is in their professional life. And people need to remember that you can't rise above it. So the reality is, no matter how successful Anna or Cenk actually are, you know what I mean? Objectively, these are successful people, right? These are rich people, whatever it is. They have the followers, they have numbers, whatever. But they feel unimportant. They feel not relevant. They feel like a dying breed. They feel like that. And that's why they're acting out like that. And I will always take a lot of comfort in the fact that they feel like shit. That's the thing. That's the reality. She's on these interviews. They're saying all this. They're screaming. They're so outraged about what our perspectives is because they feel what their real issue and they've been saying the central theme for the last year, basically every time they have an outburst, is the fact that the left has changed who its positions are or who it looks to or who it listens to. What they hate is the idea that a bitch like me would be deferred to on abolition before that propaganda. Like they don't think certain people should be in space. That's what it's about. They feel like they are not being given their rightful dues. So no matter how successful they are, no matter what deal they get with the right or whatever it is, what they're upset about is us. We won't respect them. Something I noticed when Kim Iverson was fucking spiraling and losing her fucking mind because I went viral on Twitter with Rising is this. Rising will always, like the numbers on YouTube will always be bad if I'm on Rising. The audience will intentionally not watch just to, incentivize them not to have me, right? And the comments are always purely a visceral hatred for me in the comments. And Kim Iverson is worshipped on Rising. And the same
our anti-vax queen.
And that was true the entire week that I was on, right? But that was true on YouTube, but it wasn't true on Twitter. And that's what I realized. No matter how much they kowtow to the right, blah, 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 because that's where their check is and all those different things, they know that the right is full of shit. They don't actually, in their actual genuine hearts, they don't respect those people. They don't respect, even though she doesn't respect the opinions of these right-wing troll idiots on YouTube. Who she really respects, the circles these people really want to be in is who's on Twitter, who's on the left. So that's what they're really fucking upset about. So they could get all the views they want on the fucking world on YouTube. They could get whatever deal with Rumble, but they're really going to be unhappy about is us don't fucking respect them. So I take fucking comfort in that song and comfort because it doesn't matter what deal she get. It does not matter if she calls on Jesus Christ himself to stand next to her and hold her hand. I will never fucking respect you loser, idiot, bigoted, unprincipled, integrityless bitches at TYT. So ciao. That's my tea on that.
Ask 3 Logic says, yeah, I still have cancer, but I'm stable now. Thanks for asking, Ole.
I'm glad you're stable now. I'm a pray for you and manifest that it goes away in its entirety. Hoping for that for you, my love. But yeah. Also, y'all should tune into Illuminati tomorrow. I'm going to put out a very special video we are going to record tonight for you to truly get me, Lance, Mike's thoughts, and 3 of my favorite trans commentators. I will let you find out tomorrow. I will put it out.
Where would one find that on the YouTubes? Is there a youtube.com/@
Illuminati? You should subscribe to my YouTube and you should watch. I'm gonna make I'll be making like new Olay and Friends announcements and stuff soon because I'm gonna start making Olay and Friends like statedly at least bi-weekly. I'm gonna officially make it that I drop videos every Sunday, and in August I'm gonna start streaming.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I decided.
Okay. Any aspect of that you need help with? Let me know. DM me.
I shall. I will be sending my editor and assistant right to you. I shall need all the help. So yeah, y'all should subscribe to my channel. Y'all should look out for that video tomorrow. Because even though I have talked to Lance now for what is probably an hour, I'm still gonna go talk to him tonight for 2.
It's also true. Yeah, I'm gonna sign off now so I can go walk Chico, so I can basically come back and he can sleep while I do your show.
Okay,
Vice
fantastic.
Versa.
Bye, everybody. Wow, my phone wasn't charging this whole time. I sat here to make it charge and it wasn't charging. I hate my life. Okay, bye-bye.
Wow, sorry. Thank you so much. Thanks for joining.
Of course. I love you, Lance. Bye.
You too. Bye, Limey. Oh, that was fucking awesome. I think that maybe I'm going to be canceled 27 times in a row over all the content that was just generated there. But yeah, so I'm not going to spoil the guests, but Olaimi is basically going to be doing a full interview. So you better go to her channel, subscribe, because that way you can catch all the additional parts. And now one last piece on this, because I didn't show you the tweets that we were referencing from this morning. So here's Anna saying, I don't make things up. And my point is that this stuff turns people off. It's not really controversial. And then I was like, okay, what is this? And then you click on the link. Accept all. I'll take the cookies. Why bonus hole is going viral on Twitter and what the term means. After spending a little time on social media, today you might be wondering, what is a, quote, bonus hole? And why is the term and why is it all over your Twitter feed? In 2020, 3 years ago. Allow me to take you to an old time many years ago. Joe's Cervical Cancer Trust, in partnership with the LGBT Foundation, an LGBTQ plus charitable organization, began suggesting the term bonus hole be used as a way to support trans men and non-binary people. According to their glossary, a quote bonus hole is an alternative word for the vagina, and recommend checking to see which word someone prefers to use. They also suggest using front hole as an alternative term for the same meaning. I know everyone thinks that queers are a monolith, just the queer lith, giant thing that's just queer, all the same. Every queer globally is like, but one organization, a charity in Britain, does not speak for the totality of a civil rights movement, never will. To suggest as such would be cartoonish and ridiculous, that no serious person should engage in, as in, what the fuck are you doing right now? Why would you do this, Anna? All right, why are we talking about bonus holes? I agree that this is going to be something that some people will use as a wedge issue, as in, did you see how wild and crazy the LGBTQ plus activists have become? Have you seen what they're demanding? They're trying to erase the fucking word vagina and replace it with bonus hole. Yeah, that sounds like an entry point. That sounds like something that the normie might hear and be like, wait, what? Oh, that's kind of silly. Bonus hole? Like an inclusive? Technically, they are saying it could be an alternative term that people could use. They're not actually saying that they want to erase the word vagina and that no one can use it anymore. Okay. So just like one charitable organization in another country made a suggestion, and that's as far as this goes. You would think. But wait till you see what happened here. But bonus hole went viral today after conservatives like Leo Kearse and All Oil London. Wait, who's Oil London? Oh. Ollie London tweeted about it. Kearse is a right-wing UK-based comedian, and London is a British media personality who is most well known for writing a book about his experience detransitioning and the issue of the supposed trans ideology. Basically, he's a TERF. Yes, he's a TERF. He's a master of being a grifter and realizing that after not being able to get as much media from being shocking, because that's usually what he used to do, right? He was obsessed with K-pop, and he originally wanted to transition into becoming Korean, as he put it, and he didn't want to do that by, of course, learning Korean, learning the culture, the history, learning about the language, anything. He just decided that he wanted to get a penis reduction because he's a weird-ass racist, and somehow he thought that would make him Korean. So he's an extreme racist who basically was known for that until he switched from being like, well, actually, I don't want to become a K-pop star that is a man. I want to become a K-pop star that is a woman. So now I technically could be seen as a trans person who's trying to transition, but now I'm going to back away from my transitioning and now write a book on detransitioning and get on that sweet right-wing grift. Yes. Yes, you heard me correct. I'm not making this up. I tell no lies. Hold on. Ollie London. Oh, it's the top. Sorry, it's the top story about the whole thing. So what's this in Insider? A white influencer said they want penis reduction surgery to be, quote, 100% Korean, sparking criticisms from celebrities, experts, and academics. Yes, Ollie London is an extreme racist, a racist who will go to such extremes in order to be fucking racist. Super weird. Obviously, Ollie London fetishizes a lot of aspects of Korean culture, as well as superstar culture in the form of K-pop music, stars, all that kind of stuff, and then became obsessed, developed a very strong parasocial relationship, and that transferred into, wanting to get hundreds of thousands of dollars in surgeries. That's Ollie London. This is a story, again, from 2020, involving a charity in the UK saying, hey, here's an idea, here's some more inclusive language that has been twisted, perverted, if you will, into becoming a culture war talking point by the right and the far right, because right-wing grifters like Oil London decided to make it into a culture war thing. Why the fuck would you spread this as a progressive? Something that could be deeply damaging towards the trans and, broadly speaking, the LGBTQ plus community. For again, the only reason would be to help out fucking right-wingers who want to pass draconian anti-trans laws. If you wanted to pass an anti-LGBTQ plus bill and you want to go about it, what's the best fucking way? Get people to believe lies. If you get people to believe that the LGBTQ plus activists are asking for kids to have litter boxes so they can be cats if they identify as cats, if you convince them that they want to remove the word vagina and replace it with bonus hole, if you convince them that they don't want women to be called women anymore, they have to be called birthing persons, well, then you might think, hey, whoa, okay, things have gone too far. And this is coming from a progressive, okay? This is not coming from some far-right Christian fascist like John Doyle or a neo-Nazi like Nick Fuentes. This is coming from a progressive. Anna Kasparian of TYT is saying this. And I mean, if a progressive is saying this, then clearly things have gone too far. What are we talking about? This is a fucking weird-ass manipulation of a true story twisted into a conspiracy theory to fearmonger. That's all this is. This is not indicative of a problem, you know? Like Olayemi put it so well, this is not real oppression. This is not oppression. This is not what oppression is, everybody. I'm saying this to fellow white people, by the way, okay? If anyone is confused by seeing this, I'm saying this as a white person. This is not oppression. We can't scream oppression by hearing this and being like, oh, gas, what? They're removing the word vagina. And calling it what? Bonus hole. No. Oh, my oppression I feel right now. It hurts. It hurts. I'm oppressed. No, this is not actual oppression. This is oppression simulator. It's not a real story that actually is being manipulated into the ways that you think it is. It's just nonsense. It's like the same thing with the fucking birthing person. That's not real. It's not real oppression. Why are we doing this? Things got so much worse. The civil rights movement did not use the same strategies as the trans movement. They didn't barricade speakers they disagreed with in a classroom for 3 hours. You're so late to these culture war talking points. Are you just doing catch up? Are you trying to, well, I guess I got to start like 9 months ago around there. And then, okay, we'll do that. I'll talk about the birthing persons. Now I'll talk about the bonus hole. Oof, that's like 3 years old. It's coming back. It's making a comeback. Oh yeah. So what about that swimmer? Yeah, the cis swimmer who apparently was like basically harassed at a school because she would have been a champion had it not been for the trans agenda. A fourth place champion. Fifth. Oh yeah. So she wouldn't be on the podium at all. So she got fifth place, but would have been fourth. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's weird. But she's turned it into a lucrative career. We see. They persuaded through nonviolence and showing America their humanity. I'm not going to go into a long discussion about the history of the civil rights movement in the United States, which, yes, by many historians, marks usually ends with the assassination of Martin Luther King Jr. and the passing of the Civil Rights Act as well. I should note, though, however, that when Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated by the government of the good old US of A, there was violent unrest. In fact, over 100 cities in the United States had violence, riots, fucking civil disobedience, and fair dues. Fair dues. There's also a ton of examples throughout American history, US history, where Black people, despite their systemic historical oppression, despite all of the fucking remnants of slavery, of Jim Crow laws, of all of that, they did do the impossible against all odds and pick themselves up from their bootstraps. They did that. And then white people burnt Tulsa to the fucking ground. That's not the only example of that happening. It happened multiple times. Happened again and again. Because, yeah, it seems like that's not all that everyone is advocating for. It's not just play by the rules, work hard. You might have a couple disadvantages, but I mean, come on, I'm not going to infantilize any one group. You can pick yourself up from your bootstraps, work hard, and win. And then rise to the ranks. Juniper, very prominent trans activist. You intentionally misunderstood what I said, you moron, lol. Anna, no, I didn't. You said barricading people you disagree with is nonviolent. If an alt-right group did that to a trans speaker, I'm sure you'd change your tune. You're dishonest, childish, and batshit crazy. So we've already reached the calling trans people crazy, insane, that kind of dehumanizing language. So we're there. Not sure if you've noticed, but states are currently using violence against trans people. Curious as to why you seem to care about the grifter who terrorizes trans people than trans people who are being affected by this legislation and violence. You don't watch the show, so you have no idea what I talk about or how often I defend the trans community. I think the fringe shit and activists like you turn the country against people. You're just too stupid to see it. Again, when people are calling you out, and it's not just one trans prominent activist who's doing that. Lots of people are doing it. I would say, most visible trans host of a TYT show, Benny, she's left. There is a large amount of people who have spent years respecting and admiring your work, who are all coming out now and being like, holy fuck, please stop speed running the whole transphobic art. Jesse Singal is not a good person. He's a liar and a manipulator, and no one should be taking him seriously. And it's a bad thing, actually, to promote his work. He has actually been called out by multiple people, including the fucking articles that he promotes as being falsehoods, as being manipulated falsehoods. He promoted and took the side of a conversion therapist, something that has decidedly been recognized as torture. He's not a good person. He's a transphobe who took the side of a conversion therapist. He may have released sensitive medical information that may get him in a lot of trouble for doing so. And then he just deleted his account for other reasons. Jesse Singal's not a good person. Multiple parents have come out to speak about how their experiences were not representational of the articles that came out down the road by Barry Weiss, the ones that she promoted, speaking about how fucking using one person's testimony, who by the way was not a medical professional at that school, but using one person's testimony to repeatedly characterize the entirety of the gender transition at that hospital as being bad, as being negative and having negative consequences. Boom, 23 parents and patients come out all refuting that, saying, that's not true. We're the patients, we're the parents, this isn't true. That's never happened the way it's described. We actually have very good experiences with the gender affirming care that we received at that hospital. This is a lie. It is a lie to fearmonger, and it is being used and manipulated now. Doesn't matter. You know? Jesse Singal doesn't matter about any of that.
Do you enjoy the Serfs but prefer not to have to use your eyeballs? Many are saying this. Well, we've got the solution for you. It's the Serf Times in podcast form. Available on most major podcasting networks now. If you enjoy it, please consider leaving a good review and feedback because it really helps the show out, apparently, and it's free, just like the podcast.
Thank you kindly to our Lord and Saviors Peyton L. Just and Xander Corvus. Without you, we are nothing. And now, a shout out to our Knights of the Square Table. Amazing Flesh, Anna Loves Riley, Adrian McCarthy, DM Rivera, Doug Cady, Everything Important, Hegbard Celine, Izzy Solidarity, La Media Panza, Matthew Scarborough, Multimondi, Nettle, Omni, Peanut Butter Blonde, Political Papi, Quiet 185, Rachel K, Riley and Anna, Roller Dragon, Kubi, Cernicus, Spinach Monster, Stellar Vision, Sebastian Dimmel, Thomas, Trevbot EXE, Lucidry, Words Greenwood, Cheryl Alvarez, Tony Perkins, Thomas, O'Pecker, Travis McClinton, and Victoria Bell. Thank you so much. And a huge shout out to all the other people who make this entire show possible. Without you, it would not exist. If you can support us, please go to patreon.com/theserfs, and even $1 can help unlock all of the little goodies and help make this show entirely possible.